I'm Dana Denha, and this is CTN at the Art Fair. I'm here with Wayne Trinkline. He's on Main Street on Thursday at the Art Fair, and he's a metal sculpture artist, I guess that's how you would refer to it.
Yes, I'm an artist.
So talk about your background, Wayne, and what led you to being a metal sculpture artist.
I started making these 50 years ago as gifts from my brothers. They were gifts intended to honor each brother for the individual they were. So I write verse about them, what is special about them. Then I recall a tree that I've climbed or seen that has those features, and I make it to emphasize those features.
Talk about your relationship with trees and why you are so inspired by them.
I got 4 brothers. We lived in trees as kids. We did everything in trees, and so my whole world has always revolved around trees. I see them like people. They live about the same time. They have to deal with life and all of its problems. They deal with stress and relationships. They have to adjust and adapt, and so I use them as examples of people, how people live their lives.
How do you decide what kind of tree a person is?
I look at them, I talk to them, and I get feelings from them immediately about what kind of a person they are. You, for example, have a very outgoing, gregarious person. You project yourself out and you welcome people. So for you, I would make a tree like my maple tree, which is, it's outreaching, it's friendly, it's approachable.
Well, that's very nice. I will take the maple tree. Talk about some of these other trees. So you were mentioning before the interview that the redbud, which is such a beautiful tree, is for your wife.
Yes.
Talk about how she's the redbud and how you came up with that.
For many years, my trees were nothing but copper and tin. They still are. But my wife came along and she said, what kind of a tree am I? And I decided that the only way I could portray her was with color. And so I made the redbud. The redbud is unabashedly colorful. It shows feelings. She's the kind of a person that when I gave her the first tree, she started to cry. She's all about feelings, and that's what that tree is about.
Talk about your process for making the trees. So it's a stone that you start with, and then you create the sculpture?
A bundle of wire, which I mold into its natural anatomical positions flowing from the roots up into the branches. Then I fuse it with tin and create a bronze. Then I put another alloy on the surface that becomes the bark, and the roots go into the rock. So I recreate the natural anatomy of a tree. So they're believable, and they can tell the story believably. This is the first tree I ever made.
This one?
Yes. That style was from my brother Paul. He's a guy full of energy, rapid growth, impulsive. He's a doer more than a thinker. But thank heavens he's got a wife, and so I show the other partner with him who reinforces, and together they grow with lots of energy. Strength through relationship.
Do you spend a lot of time in nature still? I know you mentioned that when you were a kid, you and your brothers were obviously climbing a lot of trees and stuff, but now, because the trees are anatomically correct for what the tree species is, how do you get that to happen?
Well, I do shows all over the country. I do the best shows in the country. This is the best show this weekend. But I go all over the country, and whenever I go any place, Rocky Mountains, Florida, Michigan, I always look at the trees, and I'm always thinking about which trees I can use to portray individuals that I have met. And so they're a collection of trees from all over the United States. But I started in Michigan. So most of my trees, actually a lot of them are Michigan trees.
Are you from Michigan originally?
I grew up in Frankenmuth. I actually practiced medicine, went to school here for 8 years.
Wow.
Practiced medicine in Lansing for 25 years, but I live in Missouri now for the last 25 years and just make trees. It's a lot easier.
Oh, I bet. I think I'd rather be making trees. What tree are you?
I tried very hard in my life to be an oak tree. Here's an oak in process. That tree is not done. But the oak is strong. It's a tree that has a big cleft in the trunk representing experience. So it's a tree that uses its experience in the service for others. I tried to do that. I did it as a physician. But I later discovered that I really was more like a cedar by the water's edge, which is a tree that leans out over the water, takes chances, plays with life, makes mistakes, has fun. That's easier. As an artist, that's what I do.
I also love your evolution as a human in this story because you were once the doctor and then you became the free-spirited artist.
What's interesting is that I went to school here for 8 years, but I never came here. I didn't go downtown. I was a student. I was studying all the time. And so now I come back as an artist and I see Ann Arbor as a totally different place, more from the commercial side. So I love Ann Arbor. I loved it then as a student. I like it now it's a great place to sell trees.
What's your favorite tree that you've made?
Probably the aspen. And I'll tell you why. I have other aspens here. It's my number one seller. Here's an aspen, here's an aspen. It's my number one seller because the people who buy these are always energetic, relational, they're slightly showy, and they're full of energy. So they come in, and all it takes for them to buy a tree is, honey, I really like that tree. And the other one says, I do too. And then they say, let's get it. They tend to be impulsive, they're buyers, and so I can sell these things faster than I can make them.
Wow.
I work hard.
Do you tend to sell trees to the people that are related to those trees in your mind?
When people walk into my booth, I am immediately scoping them out, and I watch which trees they go to, and within about a minute, I can tell you which tree they're going to buy. I can even guess their profession.
Really?
Yes, because people go to trees just like themselves, and they will think it's beautiful. It's interesting that some people would say that this is not a beautiful tree. This is the second chance. It's an ugly old tree. But there's other people who say, oh, that's a very beautiful tree. It's a story of second chances. And they see the character of the tree. That's what they find beautiful. But everybody sees different things. And the person who's like that is, I would say, deep and reflective and meaning. They look for meaning in life. The ones who buy the Arctic Spring, which is over here, these people are looking for flash. This is a fantasy tree. It's full of flash, and it's not real. I put this one on a piece of slag glass, so it's totally fantasy. And yet the people who buy those are wonderful dreamers. I love them when they come in my booth, and they love this tree. So I like selling these trees.
I love this booth. This is so much fun. It's like you're telling people more about themselves. It's just so fun. I think everyone needs to come on Main Street and check out Wayne's booth because really, this is like a once-in-a-lifetime experience. I didn't know what kind of tree I was before I showed up here.
Well, you are a maple. You are. Your glasses and the way you dress, the way you act, it has those feelings of exuberant gregariousness. And it's a very welcoming spirit. I can see why you're good at what you're doing because you're easy to trust. You're easy to get to know.
Well, thank you, Wayne. That's so nice. Teary-eyed. Wayne, do you have a website for people that can't come to the art fair?
Yes. It's WayneTrinkline.com.
All right, perfect.
Yep.
Well, thank you so much for sharing your beautiful story with me.
Yeah. Okay.
Stay tuned for more from the Ann Arbor Art Fair. Dana Denha here, and this is CTN at the Art Fair. I'm here with Diane Hawkey, a mixed media artist from Royal Oak. Diane, tell us a little bit about yourself as an artist and what led you to the pieces that we're seeing here today.
I've basically been an artist since I was a little kid. I was always making things, putting them together, and this is actually just kind of an extension of that, and I'm lucky enough to just make things that make me happy and have fun while I'm making them. So I like working with clay, but I like to also add other materials to it, beads and found objects and things. So it's just, I never stopped making since I was a little kid, and it just kind of has evolved through my whole life.
Yeah, when I look at your subject matter, it's definitely like I can see your imagination. It almost reminds me of like some Tim Burton sort of stuff.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, it's just kind of a magical world that I like to make. You know, and it's all happy. It's all happy. It makes people smile. It makes me smile when I make them. Sometimes I just start laughing when I look at how a piece has turned out, because I'm always surprised. I don't plan in advance, and you put the little faces on something, and then you look at it, and it's just like, oh, that is so funny.
Do you sketch in advance, or you just sort of make?
I just sort of make. I have sketchbooks filled with things, but I never refer to them. I just do it to just jot things down that are in my mind. But yeah, I just basically kind of take the clay, and it kind of tells me how it wants to go. And it's really nice to work with a material that is so versatile. So I can do almost anything with ceramics.
Do you always use the same sort of clay?
No, actually, I have several types of clay. I'm always, it's like I always like to test out a new thing, so I'll buy a different type of clay and see how that works. And so I think I have probably 4 different types of clay in my work in this booth.
Can you talk a little bit about your process and how so obviously you're starting with a slab, but then how does it change as it goes?
I just kind of get an idea and do a quick kind of sketch with my finger on the slab and start cutting out. And, I make the little beasties or whatever. And once I know that, like, I'm making a beastie or a person, it just kind of leads me from there. I don't really have anything in mind. It just kind of happens as it happens.
So then you're cutting out the piece, and then you glaze it, and then you add the rhinestone.
Yeah, fire it after it's been cut out and dried. And then when that comes out of the kiln, you glaze it and fire it on again. And then when that comes out of the kiln, you can start adding your little embellishments and things.
And some of these pieces are indoor, outdoor, depending.
Yeah, anything that doesn't have sparkly bling on it can go outside. Even in Michigan winters, I have pieces that I have made over 25 years ago in my garden that are still standing. So,
well, that's why I look at some of these pieces and I'm like, oh man, this would look so nice, like if you had like a privacy fence or something. And
yes, exactly. So, yeah, and my garden is full of all kinds of little sculptures and things. It's like everybody knows my house because it's the one with all the weird things in the front garden sticking out.
I love a house like that.
It's a very notable house on the block when nobody ever misses it when I tell them where to go.
Do you find that no 2 pieces are the same?
Oh yeah, it's never the same. I don't think I could make them the same even if I tried. I kind of, sometimes I'll make like a family of things. So I'll make a lot of, like my ladies that are like the pothead ladies for the plants. I'll be, okay, I'm just kind of go with this vibe with them, for a few, and then it changes. So, I mean, nothing ever comes out the same twice.
Do you want to talk about some of the different sort of things that you make, like your vases and your garden bells?
Yeah, so I do I call these my flatties, and they go on the wall. And then these are pothead ladies, and they're perfect these are a fake plant in there. It's perfect for little plants. And these are jar heads. And so, like, if you have vases, or just a plain jar, you can make it a vase, and I've got all kinds of little ones there. We also have, like, my houses, which these are fun because I love decorating the surface of things. And I make little beasties. These originally, someone asked me to make a bulldog. And it looked like a bulldog for a little while, and I kept working on it. And then it's like, oh my God, this is just a beastie. So I thought, I'm going to make more beasties, and that's how my little beasties all evolved. I mean, there's all kinds of weird little creatures here, and I have fun with them.
I love your names for things. They're so cute. Your beasties, your jar heads, your pot heads. They're so funny. Love it.
Yeah. It's like everybody needs a good name. It gives you like an energy. So,
do you have a website that people can visit?
You can find me on Instagram at Diane Hockey. Working on getting my website back together. So, yeah, but if you visit me on Instagram, Diane Hockey, you can find, I post all my work there and post where it's available.
So you can get stuff via Instagram.
Mm-hmm. Yep. I've got all my links and everything there on the Instagram page, and so it's a good place to find me.
Perfect. And they can come to the Ann Arbor Art Fair to see you.
Absolutely can, because we have wonderful weather this weekend, and which is just such a great change from the usual Ann Arbor weather. So yeah, it's going to be beautiful.
Well, thank you so much, Diane.
Well, thank you, Dana. It was very nice to talk to you.
You too. Stay tuned for more. I'm Dana Denha, host of Ann Arbor's news magazine program, FYI. Tune in every week for new episodes featuring a variety of topics on the city and county.
Almendinger Park is an 8-acre park located on Pauline Boulevard between Hutchins and Edgewood Avenue, southwest of downtown. It has a mix of open spaces and oak woods. The park contains softball fields, a restroom facility which is closed in winter, and a water fountain. It also features a play area nestled in an oak and hickory grove, a tennis court, and a basketball court. An accessible asphalt path connects a play area, picnic area, and restroom facility. In the spring, lilacs along the southwest edge blossom. Many folks come here to fly kites, run with their dogs, chase their kids around the baseball diamonds, practice martial arts, and picnic. The kids' playground makes a good birthday spot and provides plenty of shade. A favorite feature of the playground is the classic merry-go-round. There is a small shelter between the public restrooms that can be rented for meetings or food and beverage setup and includes a sink and refrigerator. Contact Park Rentals for information on reserving or hosting an event at Almendinger.
Hello, I'm Rachel Weinberg with the Ann Arbor City Clerk's Office, here to talk about dog licenses. All dogs in the city of Ann Arbor must be licensed. Not only does licensing help in reuniting lost dogs with their owners, but it's also a state law. Did you know the City Council recently changed the dog license ordinance to coincide with state law? Now dog licenses are issued for either 1 or 3 years and will expire the month your dog is due for their next rabies shot. Licensing your dog in Ann Arbor is easy. To apply, you will need a copy of your dog's most recent rabies vaccine and proof of spay or neuter if applicable. You have 3 options for applying. Online at stream.a2gov.org, and we will mail your license. Download an application from the City Clerk website at a2gov.org and either mail it or drop it off in the convenient drop box at City Hall in the Ann Street vestibule, or apply in person. Make sure to check the city website to ensure we're open before you make a trip. Also, please adhere to the City of Ann Arbor leash law and remember to leash your dog in any place other than in your yard or at a designated off-leash dog park.
Hi, my name is Ken Simpson, and this is CTN Art Fair, and I am here with
Troy Anderson.
All right. So, Troy, what can you go and tell us about your booth today?
Well, this is all copper and brass metal sculpture. I've been doing this for about 29 years. Everything is designed to be outdoors, but it can also go inside. And I specialize in things that kind of have something to do with nature, like these giant frogs behind you and hummingbirds and sea turtles. I also like the kinetic work, which is the copper and brass, different shapes, mostly symmetrical shapes with glass in the center that spin in the wind.
Yeah, so this is actually all like some super lovely stuff. So I'm curious what actually made you want to actually go towards metal of your artwork.
This is a family business. My dad started doing this in 1976, so growing up doing art shows, I fell in love with this. I was able to do this to pay for college. I'm an 8th grade English teacher today, and so this is kind of my side hustle. And then eventually it'll be my retirement. But I was able to do this to pay for school and to do it throughout my educational career, and then soon my retirement.
All right, cool. Well, I can honestly say though, you actually have the coolest summer job ever. So, yeah. So, what can you go and tell me about some of these pieces that you got here? Because I see pirate ships, I see I see dragonflies, I see frogs. So, what can you tell us about them?
Well, it's nice to be able to do a variety of things. I don't ever get tired of doing one thing, and when I get inspired, I can always make things. So like you said, there's pirate ships and frogs and different insects, but I also do like pine trees and oak trees and different things that kind of represent different times of the year, like the fall trees or like the summer pine trees or winter pine trees.
Yeah, awesome. So I also see a lot of colors on these sculptures as well and these designs. Is there like a certain process basically of actually getting these colors out of your art pieces as well?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I'm using 3 different variety of metal: copper, brass, and bronze. And most of the colors that you see are very natural. I can use a chemical to speed up the oxidization process with the copper. It goes on clear. I paint it on with a paintbrush, literally. And then in a few hours, it will turn green, and then I sand it and seal it. I can also color the copper with heat, and I am using some automotive paints for just a slight tint, like a candy red or a candy purple, just to give it a little bit of an accent.
Okay, cool. That's actually amazing. I just want to ask you though, like, is there like a certain piece that you have on display out here actually is one of your favorites by any chance?
Yes, one of the pieces I have is an Alice in Wonderland sculpture that goes through the entirety of the story, starting with Alice falling down the rabbit hole. She's about to meet the Hatter. Absalom the caterpillar's on a mushroom smoking his hookah, and there are playing cards painting roses red. So it's a nice way to kind of see, young kids come in and they recognize the story elements.
Wow, that sounds very, very intricate for sure, and probably takes like a lot of work to make a piece like that. So how long does it usually take for you to make one of these amazing pieces of art?
A piece like the Alice in Wonderland sculpture took a couple months, but most of these I can complete in just 2 or 3 weeks. And then obviously some of the smaller things I can make multiples of at a time. So I can spend a few days making 10 small items that are all the same.
Wow, that is fantastic, Troy. Is there anything you would like to say before we close it out?
Well, if this is your first time coming down to the Ann Arbor Street Fair, it is a wonderful show to see. There is something down here for everyone. Hundreds of artists, not just sculptors like me, but painters and potters and leather workers, just everything you can imagine is down here. And then not to mention the food, and the businesses come out and do their sidewalk sales. So if you haven't anything to do this weekend, come see the Ann Arbor Street Fair.
All right, thank you so much, Troy. And this is Troy Anderson at the Ann Arbor Art Fair, and I'm Ken Simpson with CTN Ann Arbor, and we'll see you guys soon. Hi, my name is Ken Simpson. I'm with CTN at the Art Fair, and I'm here with
Anna Sokol.
All right, Anna. So, what can you go and tell us about your booth today? What we have going on?
Well, this is my first Ann Arbor show, which is exciting and nerve-wracking all at the same time. I came up from Ohio, and I've got a ton of original art right now with lots of vibrancy, as you can see, and I want to exude energy and happiness. So I hope that's what everybody sees.
Yeah, so I obviously like there's a whole lot of energy, vibrancy, like super bright colors, basically. So what was the inspiration of actually choosing these colors and the subjects that they actually made out of them?
A lot of my work has to do with a lot of my inner feelings and lots of typography and words that sometimes I need to hear. This is called the Colors of the Caribbean, and I just was in Dominican Republic, so a lot of times it's the travel that I've done and lyrics that I might hear. That one's called Tequila Sunrise. So a lot of like travel-based work and just like how I feel things is how my colors come out as well.
Yeah, and I think like a lot of your art that you have here today actually like expresses a lot of feelings as well, because there's actually some pieces here that actually have like positive affirmations and just a relaxing. So how do those like affirmations actually affect your art as well?
Well, again, I do a lot of the typography work for things that I need to hear probably at that time. And what happens a lot with people visiting the booth is somebody connects with something that I've painted, whether it's, hearts or words or flowers, but a lot of the words draw people in, and I love that because somebody connects with a quote or something I might write. Yeah.
Yeah, that is fantastic. So what can you go and tell us about the process of your art? How long does it usually take you to make one of these fantastic pieces you got here today?
Thank you. I guess it just depends on depends. Everything depends. So probably a piece like this, it's very textured, so I do a lot of layering. So I know like artists, you say don't touch and don't take pictures, but like I want you to touch it. I want you to take pictures. I want you to be inspired by it and excited by it. So this is a lot of layering and scraping and adding color and I don't know. I have no answer on how long it takes. I don't think any artist ever does. It just depends.
Yeah, that's very, very fair enough. I'm actually gonna check you up on that and feel it up. Oh, then my inner kid's coming out.
That's
for
right.
sure.
It doesn't make you want to paint, right?
Exactly. So like I like the high energy of these pieces as well. But is there actually a personal favorite of yours you actually have here today?
Ooh, that's a good question. Can we move?
Oh,
Can you
yeah, of
follow
course.
me?
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
let's
of
go.
course. Sorry. Oh.
This one.
Oh, gotcha.
Way over here.
Okay.
So there's one over here called Intuition Was Her Superpower, and this is a really large piece that I think would really connect with people that love sort of a neutral palette as well as a little bit of pop of color, and that's my favorite one.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool, awesome. Thank you so much,
welcome.
Anna. And so, is there anything you would like that you would like to share? Is there a website people can find
Absolutely.
you on?
My Instagram is Anna Sokol Fine Art. It's SOKOL, and my website's the same, annasokolartist.com. And I'm based in Columbus, Ohio. This day is incredible for Ann Arbor show. I'm really lucky to be here and excited. So come out and see me and give me a hug because I need it.
All right, cool.